Okay, we need to always put the lock back here, but don't lock it, just so it looks, always put it back, but don't lock it. And then the pool, we don't want anything out in the pool, no rocks. And he always wants a really good job blowing in the whole backyard and nothing in the pool. If there is, we need to clean it out good, use the net. The rest of the stuff, we can just kind of leave these palms fuller. This one's been kind of recovering. Once it gets really nice, we could clean it out. Kind of keep stuff just trimmed up in here, nothing particular. I'd say the palm medium. These oleanders, I'd say like fence height would be good. And so the big ones we can trim a little more, and then the little ones need to catch up, but we might have to lightly trim them so they get stronger. And then on the bottom, if we can remember to tuck them in and keep them from getting too fat on one side or the other. Again, this pool is critical. Also raking the bare spots. That med palm behind the pool we can leave fuller, just keep the dead cleaned out. This pygmy, kind of medium. The stuff behind the wall, just normal trimming. Once a year that red yucca, we can skinny it up. So I think the biggest thing is a good job blowing in the back was one complaint, and stuff out of the pool is another, and then also locking the gate. He doesn't want blue weed killer either, so we need to use clear weed killer or pull them by hand. Okay, we can do normal settings here. This sage, we don't want this thing to keep getting fatter, so when we do trim it, let's trim it hard. This palm, kind of medium, kind of a medium 45. We can let one new trunk grow out in the back. There's a hole. Lantanas, just kind of keep them lower. This here, we can leave babies on the agave, but just keep them, the dead, trimmed up. All these things out here kind of the same height. We don't want to let them overgrow. Remember to keep them tucked in and blown out good. This here, don't let it get too fat. This here is one thing, we got to keep it away from the light and off the wall, so this can't get bigger. The olive too, he doesn't want it getting bigger, so when we trim it, probably at least 3 times a year, trim it hard. In here, we don't want these pygmy palms hitting our head. We want to be able to walk under them. So keep the pygmies, I'd say keep them cleaned up a little more. You know, we can do a medium, but for sure over in here, we need to keep them cleaned up. Lantanas too, don't let stuff overgrow in here. That trellis, we need to keep that looking nice. Dead wood cleaned out, not lopsided. I'd let those bottle brush like a foot, 2 foot over the wall max. Also, we don't want to let this olive get too low either. And then these bottle brush, we can just do them as a hedge, like 2 foot over the wall. Don't let them get too fat. Purple lantana, trim when needed. We can save the babies here. They look good on those short. Red yucca, like in the back, once a year, clean it up. These bird of paradises, like now they're overgrowing the sidewalk. I would say at least once during the summer, cut them back in half. We can leave them in the fall with a little bit of green, and then once it gets real cold, we can cut them back. But I'd keep them as 3 individual bushes. These bougainvilleas too, don't let them get too big. 3.5 to 4 foot. Like this one right now, it's getting a little taller, so I'd say, you know, don't let those back ones overgrow. We need to remember to keep this off of the roof line. This bottle tree, keep this thing cut back and raised up, and always keep the pods cleaned up, and then rake up always the bare spots. And again, I'd say it's real important to keep that pool clean and a good blowing in the backyard. That should conclude the work here.